The living room smelled like expensive coffee and tension. Jungkook sat on the edge of the plush couch in his mother's house, his toddler, Jiho, curled up against his chest. The boy's tiny fingers played with the chain around Jungkook's neck, completely unaware of the storm unfolding around him. "You don't have a choice anymore, Jungkook," his father's voice boomed, cold and final. "You've already shamed this family once. You're lucky someone like Kim Taehyung is even willing to look at you." Jungkook swallowed hard, his fingers tightening around Jiho's back protectively. "I didn't shame anyone," he said, voice low but firm. "I fell in love. I had a child. He left. That's not my fault," his mother sighed, sitting across from him. Unlike his father, she wasn't cold, but she wasn't soft either. "We're not blaming you for being a father, Jungkook. But we're blaming you for throwing your future away. You could have studied abroad. You could have taken over the company. But you're working part-time jobs and raising a baby all alone." Jungkook looked down at Jiho and kissed the crown of his head. "He's not a mistake. No one said he is," his mother said gently. "But you need help. And Taehyung can provide that." Jungkook scoffed, looking up sharply. "So you're marrying me off to a stranger just to make me someone else's burden?" "Kim Taehyung isn't just a stranger," his father interrupted. "He's the son of Kim Enterprises chairman. His company is planning to merge with ours. This marriage isn't just about you. It's business. It's reputation. It's your second chance, or your way to erase the shame of having a grandson born out of wedlock," Jungkook snapped. His mother winced, but didn't deny it. "There's no affection, no connection." Jungkook shook his head, laughing bitterly. "You want me to marry someone I've never even spoken to?" "You've met him once," his mother said. "At your cousin's wedding last year." Jungkook blinked. Vaguely, he remembered. A man in a sleek black suit, standing near the back, eyes calm and unreadable. Kim Taehyung. Tall, elegant, intimidating. "I barely spoke to him. He doesn't mind," his father said curtly. "He said he's willing to marry you if you agree to the terms." "What terms?" "You live with him. You'll play the perfect spouse in public. He'll take care of your son's education and future. And in 3 years, if both of you want, you can annul it." Jungkook stared at his father, speechless. A marriage for survival. A transaction dressed up in promises. "Why is he even agreeing to this?" he asked finally. His father shrugged. "He's a businessman. He knows how to leverage alliances. You get stability. He gets control of the narrative. Everyone wins, everyone, except him." Meanwhile, in Taehyung's penthouse, Kim Taehyung stared out the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse, his assistant finishing up the last page of the legal draft beside him. "Are you sure about this, sir?" the assistant asked hesitantly. "You're not someone who believes in family arrangements." Taehyung remained silent for a moment, watching the city lights flicker below. His voice, when it came, was low. "He has a child." "Yes." Taehyung turned his head slightly. "That means he knows how to fight for someone." The assistant blinked. "You admire that?" "No," Taehyung murmured. "I need that." Back at Jungkook's home late that night, Jungkook stood over Jiho's crib, heart pounding. The little boy was sleeping soundly, lips parted, arms sprawled above his head. Jungkook ran a hand over his face. "Marry a stranger. Move in with him. Pretend. Live a lie, for security. For his child." He didn't want to. God, every part of him rebelled at the idea. but his son's future, his safety. Appa will do it, Jungkook whispered, voice trembling. Even if it hurts. The meeting was set at a neutral venue, a quiet, exclusive tea house tucked away in the heart of Seoul, where no cameras would find them. Jungkook arrived 10 minutes early, hands clammy, wearing a simple white button-down and black slacks. He didn't want to look desperate, but didn't want to look indifferent either. Jae was with his mother for the day. Jungkook could still feel the warmth of his tiny hand clinging to his shirt before leaving. His nerves were frayed. His whole life was about to change because of one conversation. The host led him to a private room with traditional flooring and low lighting. A low table sat in the center, with 2 cushions on either side. Jungkook sat down. Exactly 2 minutes later, the door slid open. Kim Taehyung stepped in, looking like he'd walked out of a designer campaign. Dressed in charcoal grey, with a watch that probably cost more than Jungkook's apartment, his posture was elegant, confident, and completely unreadable. Jungkook stood instinctively and bowed. "Hello," Taehyung returned the gesture, his expression neutral. "Jian Jungkook." His voice was low and smooth, calculated, like everything about him. They both sat. For a few long seconds, no one spoke. The silence was loud. Then Taehyung poured tea into Jungkook's cup. "You must be wondering why I agreed to this." Jungkook met his gaze, cautious. "Honestly, yes." Taehyung leaned back, watching him. "It benefits me. I get to quiet my family's constant pestering. And I get control of the merger without looking like I was forced into it, so it's all business, for now." Jungkook's jaw tensed. "You know I have a child, yes?" "Jae-ho. 3 years old. Quiet, like strawberries. Has your eyes." That startled Jungkook. "You looked into us. I don't marry blind." Jungkook's spine straightened. "He's not part of the deal. If you're just tolerating him, I don't tolerate children," Taehyung interrupted. "I either accept them or don't include them at all." "I accepted him." The silence stretched again. Jungkook stared at the man across from him. "And what do you expect from me?" Taehyung's gaze dropped briefly to Jungkook's lips before flicking away. "Public appearances. Hosting events. Living with me. Sleeping in the same bed, if necessary." Jungkook's ears flushed. "What?" Taehyung tilted his head. "We can't risk people finding out this is arranged. They'll be watching. You don't have to touch me. But you will have to act like my husband." A shiver ran down Jungkook's spine. Not because Taehyung was cold, but because he wasn't. He was calm, beautiful, unpredictable. And something about that terrified Jungkook more than anger ever could. "I won't sleep with someone I don't love," Jungkook said quietly. "I didn't ask you to, but you implied it." Taehyung's gaze met his again, unreadable. "I implied what people expect. Not what I want." Something in that look made Jungkook's stomach flip. Later that evening, Taehyung's apartment. Taehyung stood by the window, sipping wine. The city lights below reflected off the glass, but his mind wasn't on the view. It was on Jian Jungkook. He hadn't expected him to be so bold, so guarded, but still fiery. He didn't cower under Taehyung's gaze. He pushed back, protected his son like a lion. That intrigued him. His phone buzzed. "Father, have you finalized the papers?" "The Jians are waiting." Taehyung typed back one sentence. "Set the wedding date." Back at Jungkook's place, Jungkook stared at the official contract sitting on his desk. Marriage. residency, financial clause, custody clause. And the last one, clause 13, this marriage shall be held in legal effect for a minimum of 3 years unless terminated by mutual consent. He looked at Jeho, who sat on the floor playing with toy cars, mumbling sound effects to himself. This wasn't a love story. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But it could be a life where his son had security, a roof, safety. Jungkook picked up the pen and signed his name. The car ride was quiet. Jeho sat in Jungkook's lap, clutching his stuffed bunny with wide eyes as the black luxury car pulled through the gates of the Kim estate. It wasn't just a house, it was a mansion, towering, modern, and intimidating. Ivy climbed the stone pillars, and a koi pond sparkled by the entrance. Everything about it screamed wealth and distance. Jungkook exhaled slowly as the car stopped. Jeho turned his small head up. Appa, are we going to live in a castle? Jungkook smiled faintly and kissed his temple. Something like that, baby. Inside the house the butler bowed and escorted them in. The living room was massive, high ceilings, sharp lines, and too clean. It didn't feel like anyone lived here. Taehyung appeared at the top of the stairs, dressed in a soft beige turtleneck and slacks. His eyes landed on Jeho first. The little boy stared back. "Hello," Taehyung said gently, walking down. "You must be Jeho." Jeho held onto Jungkook's pant leg and whispered, "Who's that?" Taehyung crouched to his level, hands on his knees, not touching, just waiting. "I'm Taehyung. I'll be living with you and your appa now." Jeho blinked up at Jungkook for confirmation. Jungkook nodded, heart aching. "It's okay, baby. Do you have toys?" Jeho asked seriously. Taehyung smiled, surprisingly soft. "I don't. But we can go pick some together." "All yours," Jeho considered. "Okay. But I want a blue dinosaur." Taehyung nodded solemnly. "A blue one." "Deal." Later that day Jungkook unpacked in silence. Their things looked so small in this place. Taehyung had given them the entire east wing, 2 bedrooms and a private study. But there was only one shared bed in the main room. "I can have another bed arranged," Taehyung said that evening, leaning on the doorway. Jungkook didn't look at him. "No need. Jeho sleeps with me anyway." Taehyung nodded, pausing. "You're uncomfortable." "I'm adjusting." "You hate me?" Jungkook looked at him then. "No. I just don't know you. And I don't know why someone like you would agree to this." Taehyung stepped inside. "Maybe I'm lonelier than I look." Jungkook blinked. "Or maybe I want to protect something, too." Jungkook didn't reply. He picked up a folded shirt and placed it in the drawer. "I'm not something that needs protection." Taehyung's eyes flickered. "I wasn't talking about you." Midnight the mansion was quiet. Too quiet. Jungkook couldn't sleep. Jeho was curled beside him, bunny clutched tight. The silence pressed on his chest. It wasn't home. Not yet. He stepped out onto the balcony, wrapping a thin cardigan around himself. To his surprise, Taehyung was already there, sipping tea alone in the dark. Their eyes met. Neither spoke for a moment. "You don't sleep early either?" Taehyung asked quietly. Jungkook shook his head. "I haven't slept well in years." Taehyung nodded. "Me either." The wind picked up. For a fleeting second, Jungkook felt a strange ache. For what? He wasn't sure. For a normal life. A partner. A moment of real peace. "You don't have to pretend with me," Taehyung said, not looking at him. "We both know what this is." Jungkook leaned against the railing beside him. And what is it? Exactly? Taehyung looked at him finally, the city lights reflected in his deep brown eyes. Two broken people pretending this is something it's not, but maybe hoping it could be. Jungkook didn't answer. But he stayed.